Hello beautiful people, my name is Tammy Sousa and this is a daily dose of Tammy. Let me be your inner voice. On today's episode, we're going to talk about what does it mean to heal, and more specifically, what does it mean to go on a healing journey. When we talk about healing, we're talking about becoming whole again, this sense of wholeness. And oftentimes when we talk about people who are struggling with mental health or addiction, we'll refer to them as broken, right? We'll say things like, I feel so broken. So this healing journey is really about becoming whole again. It's understanding that throughout life we experience trauma, and when we experience trauma, there are pieces of us that get broken off. Our innocence, our purity, our bravery, our courage, like we lose these innocent pieces of us. So the journey to healing is really in becoming whole again. More importantly, when we talk about trauma, it's important to understand that we all experience trauma. Trauma is a very human experience. Yes, there are, big traumas and little traumas, as they're referred to in the world of psychology, when we're talking about things like abuse or domestic violence or natural disasters or living in an unsafe environment. But there are also just very human experiences that also lead to trauma living in our bodies. Things such as grief, the messages that we receive as a child about, whether we're not good enough, or feeling shame or guilt, or making references to our bodies. This inner dialogue that gets created does form trauma, and that trauma lives in our body. And it's through healing that we have to release and let go of those limiting beliefs, of the trauma and of the pain. So when we say we're going on a healing journey, I always end, my emails to new clients of, we're so happy to help you on this healing journey. What we're referring to is like all of the things that you do that lead you to that place of wholeness. So these things can include going to therapy, exercising, being out in nature. On my healing journey, I immersed myself in reading books and watching YouTube channels like this and listening to podcasts and, going to yoga and Reiki and sound healing and all of the things that lead you to that place of healing. That is the journey. In the first episode, we talked about the 4 steps to the healing process that I developed, and that too is also part of the healing journey. And that first step was gaining self-awareness and really understanding who you are and how you became that way, and then deciding who you want to become and going on the journey to get there. When we are unhealed, we look to distraction, we look to addiction, we look to things like alcohol or drugs or shopping or food or connection or TV or social media, and we look to numb the pain instead of heal from the pain. And that's when people get into really unhealthy patterns. That's when people get very stuck in anxiety and depression and anger, and they find themselves reacting to life instead of being able to think and decide how they want to show up in life. Healing takes a level of responsibility, being able to take responsibility for our actions, being able to apologize, being able to forgive, being able to accept ourselves as we are, even when we make mistakes. We need to find forgiveness for not only ourselves, but for the other people who've hurt us, going back to the trauma, being able to find that forgiveness and understanding that forgiveness is not saying that it's okay. When we're little and someone hurts us and they knock us down on the playground, we go to an adult and they'll say you're sorry, and the other person is supposed to say it's okay. I always teach my clients that forgiveness is not saying it's okay. Forgiveness is about not carrying the burden of another person's actions. So if someone has hurt you, you carrying the pain is not serving you. It's actually hurting you, and it's carrying that burden of others. So you being able to forgive is really in giving it back to that person, that they have to do that work, and you being able to detach and release yourself from that decision and the behaviors of others even if it has caused you pain. It is through healing that we find our inner peace. It is through healing that we learn to prioritize our own self-care. And really, we learn to find that inner peace, and we want to protect that inner peace. We realize that, our energy and how we feel and our emotions and our thoughts is creating an energy. Some people refer to it as our aura or our energy field, and how we show up in the world. We need to really be conscious of that. And when we're healing and we're on this healing journey, we tend to show up feeling lighter. We bring joy, we bring love, we bring calm to, situations and environments. And that's really part of that journey of getting to that place of inner peace so that you can then be the light in this world and in your family and for the people around you. Healing also requires us to rise above a very human behavior that we call judgment. We judge ourselves and we judge others and we judge the world around us. We observe, we look at the worlds that we're in, and then we label it and we judge it and we decide this is good and this is bad and this is right and this is wrong. So part of the healing journey is also being able to recognize that and being able to stop that. Things like judging, complaining, blaming, these are all very low vibrational energies that create those emotions of the sadness and the anger and the anxiety. So it's very important when you have this self-awareness to be able to we are going to judge. That is part of being human. But on the healing journey, it's about being able to say, oh, no, I don't want to do that. I take that back, and recognize what you're doing, and then being able to stop and replace it with something like sending that person love or turning it into gratitude. Gratitude is the foundation of living a peaceful life. We can always find something to be grateful for. A lot of people on a healing journey will have a gratitude practice where they, list all the things that they're grateful for every day. This is really important in finding that inner peace and switching from those negative, heavier, denser emotions and frequencies, and then being able to switch to the more healthy, loving, high vibrational energies. I'm also the author of a book called Lessons from the Listening Lady. I wrote this book to help adolescents and families managing anxiety on their healing journey. In the book, I talk about making the mind-body-spirit connection because I truly feel that spirituality is the missing piece. So I'm just going to read a little bit. This is from the chapter on trauma. It says, giving yourself the time and space to process those difficult situations allows you to begin the healing process. Once you have truly acknowledged the hurt and emotional pain that is inside of you, then you can begin to use the coping skills and concepts productively. It is very hard to be mindful or grateful when you are carrying around grief and trauma. It seems almost impossible. The first step is talking about the trauma and looking at how it has impacted your life. How has it defined you? Then you can move forward with living a more productive, healthy lifestyle. If the trauma isn't directly addressed, your anxieties will continue and mostly worsen over time. Sometimes our feelings become bigger than ourselves, and we need help to figure it all out. I promise you, there is no shame in getting help. So go to therapy or do whatever it takes to feel and process those feelings so you don't have to carry them around with you forever. I also find it interesting that I picked up a random piece of paper on my desk as the bookmark, and I don't know who the author is, so author unknown, and I did not write this, but it says, the pain you carry is the love you withhold from others. I really love that. So the more pain you carry, the more blockage you create inside your body, and that is less love that you have to give to the world. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.